Hello, everyone. Brad Graver here again with another one of our very popular Secure World Spotlight series. And today I have the pleasure of introducing our audience to Reanna Schultz. Reanna, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Brad. It's always exciting to see you all here at SecureWorld. So,
Yes, a familiar face to many of those in our audience. Reanna is a SOC lead at a rather large organization and also is an adjunct professor at Central Missouri. So
yes.
a lot of juggling you're doing, I'm sure, between those two worlds. So tell us a little bit about your role in cybersecurity.
Yes. So working out of a security operations center, I always like to say my role is essentially being the first responder for the business. Myself and my team, we have to be prepared and ready for whatever might be thrown our way. Maybe it's a user clicking on a phishing email or, someone deciding to download a very fancy HD background and it ends up being a backdoor Trojan. You never know here in the SOC, but every day's a new day. It's always very exciting. And, one thing that I absolutely love, regardless if I'm working in the SOC or collaborating with other departments in cybersecurity, is essentially how passionate we all here in this field. So.
Yeah, very, very mission-based for those folks, for you and your team, and what a
Absolutely.
critical role that you play in your organization. I have a question kind of off the cuff
Yeah.
here about that. You're probably not noticed until something goes wrong.
A little bit. It depends who we're working with.
Okay.
Typically, there's a couple of corners in the business, maybe people that are often like sales or something, until something really hits the fan in that specific department. It's like, oh, hi, you might have not known me. I'm usually the person that sends those emails, like once a month or if not more. But hey, just letting you know, Craig in your department did this. I don't know if you're aware about this, but he's gonna have to get a new computer by end of the day. So hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, what a first time introduction, I'm sure, to many of
First
your
impression
fellow
matters
employees.
here in the talk.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Totally. Well, give us a little bit about your background. How did you end up in your current position? I mean, what kind of paths did you take?
Oh my, yes. I remember I actually went the college university route. I know some people might have gone like blue collar, ended up in the white collar
Mhm.
job, but I actually wanted to be a state highway patrolman. And if you do not know me, if you have not seen me in person, I am 5'2". I am very short. And so I don't know if you see many 5'2" police officers out there. I am loud and I am a scrapper. But when I was going through college, I was like, oof, I was like, law is not my passion. It does not get me excited. I do not enjoy reading court cases and understanding why this is bad and right. But when I was in college, I actually was super into powerlifting. I did bodybuilding a lot. And so I
Wow.
was like, well, I'm really passionate about lifting weights and stuff. So I went ahead and pursued physical therapy. And I took my first anatomy class. I completely failed. And
Oh no.
again, for the same reason, right? It was a lot of memorization. It was a lot of like understanding where stuff is. And when you go to college, you take elective courses.
Uh-huh.
And I was actually taking a technology class for Python programming, and I fell in love with it. And that
Mm.
was because I was allowed to be creative and have diversity thinking rather than just like it's a black and white answer of wrong or right. And with programming, it's like, holy cow, I can have all of these many different solutions. And then, of course, I found my way into cyber by taking those classes, and which led me to my first role at a Fortune 50 company, which I was very blessed to have. And then eventually led me into my leadership role out of a security operations center.
Wow, that is quite the story. You have spoken at many Secure Worlds, but I really appreciate you sharing that. It just goes to show, I think, for us in the industry, when we're looking at growing
Oh,
our
yeah.
pool of candidates, right? Not to be so close-minded and think people have to have a certain background to check because,
Oh,
hey, state police loss is our game. So
all right.
that's
So we're down.
fantastic. Yeah, it definitely worked out. It definitely worked out. So, as I mentioned, you have joined us in many of our our conferences. And Thursday, September 26th, you will be sharing your expertise with our SecureWorld St. Louis community,
Yes.
talking about social engineering and the human firewall. What is it that you would expect attendees to walk away from in that session?
Yeah, and one thing like social engineering, we usually associate with phishing, and especially with it now being September as we're recording this, Cybersecurity Awareness Month is in October. So this is hopefully going to be a very awesome hot topic going around because phishing still to 2024 is rated one of the #1 threat vectors out there campaigning our business and corporate. So what I like to have attendees do is essentially attend the session, learn about not only who's in their business, right? Like the different departments and stuff like that, but understand both the security risk and potential business risk with their phishing simulations. And oftentimes we just use phishing maybe as a checkbox for insurance or just to say, yeah, we're doing it. But really understanding the data and understanding the risk from our phishing metrics can really help grow and mature that program. Phishing not all the time is the most cheapest, option out there, especially when you're going to big vendors to automate the phishing simulations and stuff like that. So really putting weight towards what you're putting your monies in can go a very, very long way. So attendees will go to the session, learn essentially about those metrics and really how to read into it and identify those education gaps based off of the users who are in their business and really understanding how to educate their users based off of that potential risk.
I love that. I love that because obviously our attendees understand phishing and
Oh, yeah.
probably have some sort of program, within their current organization. But now we're taking it a step further in terms of understanding the data and how to interpret that data maybe a little bit differently than they have in the past, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then another
Great.
thing, like my session also highlights is how to add new emerging fish to the pool. Because again, right, we
Oh.
work in security, threats evolve every single day. And
Mm-hmm.
now like last year we were afraid about cloud security and now we're talking about AI. So things just change in a blink of an eye. So attendees will also learn how to incorporate these new emerging types of phishing campaigns that are happening, like QR phishing, SMS phishing that's going on, especially right now with the political season. There's a lot of voter scams going on. And it's, as a security professional, it's fun to watch, but also scary because people do click on this.
That's true. That's true. Well, as someone who has sat through your prior presentations, I can say firsthand that you bring a lot of energy, as you mentioned, and the time flies by and your information. I see people taking notes right and left, and you're so gracious with your time. I can't thank you enough for spending time with attendees before and after the class as well. So thank you in advance for that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, not a problem. All right, Reanna, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to having you in St. Louis. And what an interesting background you have, and thank you for sharing with us.
Awesome. Thank you so much.